Hello again, Fleet Commanders. Tiberius here with another quick video for you. I happened to move up this weekend from Ops 52 to 53. Wanted to take a quick minute, kind of go over some of the changes. Pretty much ones that you would expect to see. We'll start with the big one. Operations itself required a lot of upgrading. I think I've shown this before, but to go from 52 to 53, all of these buildings have to go to 52. So all your warehouses, vaults, and the first two generators all have to go up. You also have to get your dry docks A through E, so 5 dry docks, all to 52, 5 defense platforms, all to 52. You also need the shipyard and maybe the scrapyard. I might have done that just anyway. To go up to Ops 53, it costs trillions of Parsteel to do that. Even with high efficiencies and things like that, you're still looking at, I would guesstimate it's probably like 10 trillion Parsteel I probably spent over the last month or so just trying to get all these buildings done, in addition to all the other resources that you need. Lots of commons for the dry docks and stuff, lots, 10,000, 15,000 a piece. So lots of commons. The conversion rate of Latinum to 5-star commons, I think, is 12 to 1. So that's also not cheap if you're trying to go that route. The operations building itself, moving from 52 to 53, it was 800 billion Parsteel by itself. It was like 740 days was the base upgrade cost. I popped an exocomp, that got it down to about 715. With Alliance helps, it got down to around 650, 660, somewhere in that range. And then I had to spend like 200,000 Latinum or so to speed it up the rest of the way. Now that I am 53, excited because you're starting to move toward the ships, but what obstacles are in your way, right? Building number 1, the Academy. Well, 11,000 5-star, that's not so bad, but you need another trillion Parsteel, and it's and then after you get that done, we're going to come over here. I'm going to need to do the R&D. Well, R&D is also going to require the dilithium vault, other than just the Academy. And the vault requires generator B requires generator A. So a little bit better this time around because you can just do the generator, the 2 generators, and the vault. You don't have to do everything else this time around. So at least that's good, even though, 136 billion a piece. So that's, 275 give or take for these 2 buildings. That's a trillion right here. I don't know what this is going to cost. I'll probably figure it out real quick. We'll take a look at that in a second. And then to eventually get the shipyard, you need just R&D. So it's not too bad. There's not too many buildings in your way. But again, you're probably looking at another couple trillion of Parsteel. So that's going to certainly slow you down unless you're buying packs that have high quantities of it. As far as changes and things, well, daily quests did change a little bit. Now that I'm 53, missions have gone up to 53. Faction allegiance got a little easier. Instead of having to do 10 kills, I only have to do 9 now, so that got a little easier. My freebooters also moved up to 53. 53 freebooters, you're looking at like 300 million power, so depending on where you're at with your ships, you might be able to do that with the standard crew. You might have to use like Tal or something like that, or some other type of punch-up crew. That's going to depend for you where your ships are at. My Tribune is just a little over about 41 million strength now. I can do 53s and 54s with like a Strange New Worlds crew, and I can get enough done to finish this up. If I wanted to do 54s, you're kind of starting to get into that point where, yeah, I'm taking a lot of shield damage and some hull damage and stuff per kill. But it is at least still doable, and then there's always the alternative to just pivot and do more of like a critical hull breach kind of build with like Beverly and Gorkon and that kind of stuff. This is also, Harbingers also kill 53s now, but nothing else. Cloaking is also kill 53s, but none of this other stuff really changed. As far as the refinery, this is the big change. You now have the ability to get uncommons out of your 5-star materials. Before, at 51 and 52, it's just basically commons. Getting uncommons now was definitely a little bit of a bonus there. Actually, now that I'm thinking about that, maybe 51s weren't when I got to 52, but I feel like I'm getting better returns. Let's leave it at that. I'm getting better returns on uncommons. I'm having a brain fart this morning, and I apologize for that, but ship parts also start paying out on commons now. This is definitely a big change for 5-star ship parts. The ability to start getting uncommons, because previously you're only getting commons. That one I know is a fact. Nothing changed in territory or support research or resources. These are kind of all capped now. These don't change after 50. These are all tied to individual ships, so no big change going on here. Within the actual factions, as expected, no real changes in anything except for your Bajoran loot boxes. Those have now all changed. Uncommon loot box is now nearly 7 million for a single chest pull. I think it was about 4.5 million before, so it's gone up considerably. And the payouts have not gone up enough to justify the higher cost. Same thing with the rare loot. Now you're talking again, this went from like 3.6, 3.8, somewhere like that. Now it's up to 6 million. Rare loot. Again, still getting same amount of officer payoffs and stuff. The only change is the quantity and the quantity and the quality of the ship parts you're getting went up slightly for the fact that your cost went up, 1.5 times what it was. And epics also went up as well. You're looking at 4.5 million now for an epic box, which is very expensive. The elite box, this went from about 10,000 for a double chest pull up to 11.5 now. And again, pretty consistent with the payouts. Slightly higher increase in ship parts. We know ship parts are an issue. Certainly have always been a bit of a bottleneck there. But not much else really changed. We looked at the dailies. We can look at our events, see if our event rewards got any better. Oh, hey. We just finished up an SMS. Yay, look at that. So let's take a quick look at our daily events. These are all rep-based, but I'm just going to click them now because I'm standing right here, and if I don't do it, I'll forget about it. Okay, so let's look at our station event. What do we got here? This is a ranked station event. These rewards are fairly similar. So again, a minimal increase for that. A regular research event, still paying out about 5 billion Parsteel for first place. Or for the top milestone. So these values, I'm not really noticing a change in event rewards as far as that stuff goes. Since it happens to be Monday, we'll take a look at rules of acquisition. But again, I don't expect... my total did go up. I think I was around like 31 million, maybe, points. Rewards didn't really increase very much. But I'm expected to do a little more now because I guess I'm a higher level. Like Crucible, do I have to kill more stuff? Probably have to kill a little bit more. This was probably like 40 or 41 million. Now it's up to 42 million. Did the rewards go up? Slightly. So yeah, it's a slight increase. It's, things cost a little bit more to get. Nothing really substantial seems to be, other than just the cost of all the Parsteel and whatnot. We're going to take a quick gander. If we go over to stfc.space, we can do this. We can figure this out real quick. So let's just say this needs what, one. All right, so that's what that needs. So if I go look at my academy and I want to go to 53. So per stfc.space, this should cost me 5.68 trillion. So if it's one, 102330. Well, I won't know for certain. Well, I can do this this way. 308, 108, 108. So there's my, that's not right. I'm missing a number. There we go. 5, 6, 8. %. So I'm reducing the base cost by about 82%, thanks to all the research and favors and all that other crazy stuff I've got. So we're talking about 82% reduction. Okay, so if we want the Academy, we know what that's going to cost. After that, we have to do our dilithium generator. Well, again, we know this one already. That one I could actually see. That was about 100 and something thousand, 100 and something billion, 130. That's the generator. I don't have to do the warehouse. I do have to do the vault, though. That's, ouch, 7.57. So if we cut that, we'll round it up slightly. We'll cut that by a fifth, right? Down to 20%. So that's about 1.5 trillion for the vault. After I spend $1 trillion on the Academy, 1.5 trillion there is 2.5 trillion. Another 250 million on the billion on the 2 Parsteel. So now we're talking about 275. R&D. This has to go up to 53 as well. All right, so that's going to be another 400 billion. So now we're over 3 trillion. And then we're going to do the shipyard to 53. And that's probably about another 700. So we're looking at about 4 trillion Parsteel. 3.5 to 4 trillion, somewhere in that range, to get the Academy, the 2 generators, the vault, the R&D building, and then the shipyard built. And then you get the fun task of actually being able to build your 53 uncommon ships, your G5 uncommons, which are going to cost you billions and billions and trillions of titanium. So, hey, there's all the fun stuff to look at. So, hopefully that helps you get a good idea of exactly the type of numbers and volume you're looking at, so you can prepare accordingly when you're trying to make this jump, trying to isolate what your packs look like to see where you might be able to pick up some extra stuff. We got all these fun little special deals going on, right? So maybe there's something in here that jumps out at you that's worth acquiring. Standard station packs at my level and on my server. So things, all packs are not created equal for all servers. We know that to be true. But even looking at mine, I get 1 trillion and another trillion in tokens. So I get 2 trillion in packs. So if I wanted to just buy my way there, 2 packs should get me pretty close, if not all the way there. The multi-phasics I do get should be able to get me the rest of the way. So it's kind of looking like it's about a $200 upgrade, which isn't all that bad if you are someone who spends. If you're not someone who spends on things, well, it's going to take a little while to do the events, getting, 5 billion here, 10 billion here, when you need 4 trillion to get it done. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I'll try and respond as quickly as I can. Thank you all for watching. Hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend. And I'll see you around the galaxy sometime. Take it easy.